When I think back to September 11th, all I could say is it's a day I'll never forget. I remember from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed, it was a day that is etched in my brain. I remember sitting in my kitchen. I was with my daughter. We were watching TV, having breakfast, and when I looked up at the TV and I saw the World Trade Center collapse right before my eyes, I didn't even know what to do. I called my friend who I knew her husband was in the building. I called my husband, my family. I just wanted to go get my sons out of school. Fear set in. And then when I saw the second building collapse, it was crazy. I immediately found out what to do. I did not get my boys. I waited till the end of the day, and everyone gathered together. My family, my neighbors, all my children. I want to tell you everything that happened, but it's hard to put into words. I remember every second of the day. I remember where I was at every minute. I remember every feeling I had. It's a day I will never, ever forget. And as time went on, there were such mixed feelings. We would go out amongst the community, we would help each other, we would cry together, we would just talk about it. It was just an amazing time, an amazing time. My mother-in-law was far away in another country. I was worried about her. My parents, I was worried about them. My children especially. It was a very scary time. And then when you found out what really happened to everyone in those buildings, that was a horror show. That was horrible. We found out that we lost a friend, or we knew that he went missing. And that was the saddest experience of our lives. We went to church, we prayed, we went day in and day out hoping to find him. It was just horrible. He had 3 little kids. His wife was so optimistic. She kept believing he was gonna show up, but he never did. But after searching, about a month or so later, they ended up finding his hand, which had the wedding ring on it, which in all that rubble and chaos, and we couldn't believe that was found. But it brought closure to the family, and it was still very, very sad. And we had a funeral. I don't know. There was just so many people that we lost, and so many friends. And another thing about 9/11, as sad as it was, what I found really beautiful, I know this might sound strange, was how everyone came together. We would go outside, all the candles were lit on everyone's front porch. You would walk down the street and people would gather and talk and pray together. It was so sad, but so beautiful how the whole community came together. I never had that feeling with people in my community because I never had a tragedy like that before. But I have to say, especially our community, we pulled together beautifully, and I really felt bonded with everyone around me. I wouldn't say that I walk around in fear because I'm not afraid. I do trust our world. I do trust our country. I don't want to mistrust people around me, but I am a little bit more cautious with people. I do look at the world differently, and I am worried to some degree, but I do believe that we live in a much safer society. I think everybody's pretty much watching, and I don't think anything like that will ever happen again. Well, considering I did not lose a husband, I did not lose anybody in my immediate family, I felt like I was very impacted by that day. I can't even imagine how someone who had a loss near and dear to their heart felt, and I don't know how they survived. But I feel like my story is not even a big story. It's just a story that most of us may have felt because we had a lot of compassion for what was going on around us, and we kept thinking it could have been us. A very special connection I had with the World Trade Center buildings is I worked in Brooklyn and New York for 15 years. I went in and out of that World Trade Center every single day of my life. And when I saw it on TV and I saw how it collapsed, I couldn't believe that buildings like that were just gone. They were so beautiful. They were so magnanimous. I just can't believe that they were gone. It was a crazy imagination. And to think that I was below in the subway, and when I think about all those people that were trapped, it's just a horrible, horrible thought. But I could imagine how it must have felt being in there, because when you're in New York and you work in New York, you don't really think, you feel safe. You don't really think anything like that will really ever happen. So I could see how people at first did not rush out of the building because they're not believing this is really happening. And then when it really happened, it was too late.